I'm Diego Negrón. I was born and raised and still live in the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. And some of you may know my journey towards Lindenwood has been very unique and honestly unexpected. Before Hurricane Irma and Maria, hurricane season wasn't such a big threat to the island. And so when we heard about these two hurricanes coming in, we didn't see it as a threat. It's gonna go another direction right before hitting Puerto Rico, as it always happens. So most people didn't prepare for it, honestly. There were still people who lost their homes, and since Hurricane Irma, there's people that don't have water or electricity yet, and it's been more than 4 months. That for us was a reality check at that point, that you can't get lucky every time. So for this one, we got a little more prepared and stuff. My grandmother is, I think, one of the toughest ladies I know, and I've never seen her sick before. Before her situation, I've never seen her sick, and when we got the news that she got cancer and that transmitted to kidney failure, it was very shocking for us and for me and my family. So we actually didn't want my grandparents to spend the hurricane alone in their house, so they came to our home so that they could be with us and have some more company. And so my grandparents were staying in my brother's room, and my brother was living with me in my bedroom. That night the hurricane started to feel in the island about 3, 4 in the morning, and so we could get some sleep beforehand. Since I'm alive, I've never seen anything like this. I have that mental picture with standing next to my brother downstairs at 4 a.m. and just seeing how incredible nature can be. Water and was just going in through the windows. Parts of trees just over my car, everything was just in pieces. Everything was just, I don't know, it was incredible to see. You just kind of have to wait it out. A lot of the water came down the electric system. And for example, in my house at 9 a.m., the water was literally pouring out of the electric switches. I literally heard from no one until 2 or 3 days after the hurricane, because no one could get out of their neighborhoods because trees were in the middle of the street and stuff like that. So actually the first and second day after the hurricane, it was just trying to get the trees off the street and so that vehicles could go by. And after that, it was just trying to visit home by home and see who was okay and try to hear from your family members and stuff like that, and friends. I heard a lot of stories about people who tried to save lives during the hurricane and went out of their homes and sadly lost their lives. Makes you desperate, not knowing about others, not being able to communicate. It's just a feeling that only the ones who go through it know of it. I mean, I remember cruising down the highway to my old school and just seeing from the highway all the houses just shattered in the mountains. Everything was just shattered. No walls, no rooftops, anything. I could literally see the kitchen of a house almost a half-mile away. I remember seeing my athletic facilities and they were destroyed. I mean, you could see the water everywhere, but there was nothing people could do about it, you know. When nature strikes, it just strikes and you can't do anything about it. So for my family, my great-grandmother is a very important person. It was tough for us putting her in a retirement home 2 weeks before the hurricane. And it was very shocking to see how such natural disasters can mess up the human mind. Because after the hurricane, we went to visit her, and the nurses told us a lot of the people that lived there were still not consciously aware of the time and the days, and one of those people was my great-grandmother. So The first day she was very confused. She didn't know where she was. She didn't know the days, the time, and for me that was personally really shocking because I had never seen her that way. We knew we had to take care of my grandmother during the hurricane and post-hurricane. And after the hurricane, her clinic that provided medical services for her was not running normally because they had to depend on a power generator, and there was a shortage of fuel, and they were saying like, hey, if you can get out of the island, go ahead and do whatever you can to not be here, because if your life depends on our services, we don't know if we're gonna be able to provide them. So she had to take a humanitarian flight to Washington, where my uncle lives, and try to settle there until she was okay. They miss the island so much. They wanted to go back, and now she's feeling better, and she's actually been taken care of in Puerto Rico. And with this, a lot of that changed. A lot of people in Puerto Rico met their neighbors, set their technology aside, and just talked with everyone. I remember all my neighbors just sitting down after the hurricane and just having a big dinner party, because we can't always live in the negative side of things, and so the Puerto Rican people try to see the positive side in the hurricane and came as one. It's always been a dream playing at the top level. When my dad calls me and says, Diego, we have a real opportunity now, like there could be something here. That was such an excitement for me. Being able to come play here, it's a dream come true. Teammates, I mean, they're just an extraordinary group of guys. The way they have welcomed me here, it's been another thing for me. I'm really grateful for the opportunity and how the guys have shown me that we're a family and we're a group. Hola, mamá.
Hola, Diego, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú cómo estás?
¿Todo bien? ¿Las clases hoy?
Muy bien, las clases
¿Sí?
Todo muy bien, todo me da muy bien.
Pues dale, te amo.
Yo también. If you guys would like to help, please donate to the Ricky Martin Foundation.